Live from the City of Angels here on this Sunday morning, you're watching Breaking Box Office with the latest on Dune 2, weekend number 3, down just 37% stateside. That's a great hold. Another strong hold, over $200 million now in the United States alone, almost $500 million worldwide. It'll cross that, looking tomorrow for that to happen. Now, I think what we want to talk about this morning with these numbers and these holds that are certainly strong. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you really don't want to see a film start to fall minus 50, minus 50, minus. These things are really, it's staving that off. In the 40s last weekend, this weekend at 37, benefiting from a lack of competition. The new films this weekend did nothing. So you're really looking at no head-to-head films for Dune 2. We talked about that when this film dropped. That would benefit it greatly, and it has. Now, I think what we want to do here is discuss this in context with Oppenheimer. And I think when you look at this, you're going to be like, wow, these things are very similar. I called it from day one, right? These films are so similar. They're from cinephilic directors. They are blockbusters, right? Both of them. Obviously, one sci-fi, one is drama. So it's a different deal on that perspective. You get a little bit more of an all-inclusive audience with Dune 2, certainly, than Oppenheimer. But, I mean, when you look at the numbers, they're almost, head-to-head, they're the same. Look at this. The third weekend Oppenheimer was down 37%. That's exactly what Dune is down. I mean, when you look at these two films across the board, so I went back in and looked at Oppenheimer's third weekend internationally. Look, here it is. Now, here's where Oppenheimer's ahead of Dune 2. Right now, if you look at Oppenheimer's numbers worldwide through 3 weekends, it was at 552, call it 553. Dune is at 497. So it's off by about, 30 million or so, okay? So right now, if Dune 2 continues on this trajectory, we will be looking at around, maybe, could we get above 800 million? Because remember that Oppenheimer's at 950. So this film is going to surpass, I think, a lot of people's expectations when we started talking about 600, 700 million. Right now, we're almost at 5. Call it 5 right now. We should be able to get over at least 700, maybe at 8. But we're right neck and neck with Oppenheimer. That's extremely encouraging for Warner Brothers as this film continues to bank cash, and we'll keep an eye on that, obviously, in the coming weeks and update these numbers. Let's go to the first place film this weekend. It was Kung Fu Panda 4. It ended up at 30 million, just a tiny bit, $900,000 above Dune 2. So it's a strong second weekend hold, again, benefiting from nothing in the marketplace, as the film is now at about 176 million worldwide. So successful, but not maybe as successful, I think, globally yet as Universal DreamWorks would hope for this film. Still plenty of time. Again, the next few weeks, you got Ghostbusters coming in. Listen, I mean, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I think, is going to underperform because we already revisited Ghostbusters. We'll talk about this tonight, just a few years ago. So the novelty of that, look, it's the return of this 80s property, is not nearly as strong as it was for the last film. I was underwhelmed by that film. I'm not excited for this next film. I mean, I will see it, but as far as like an excitement level, it is just flatlined for me on this film. So that will impact this film. Also, that will impact Dune. Anytime you have any kind of film that's bigger than Love Lies Bleeding, which really struggled this weekend, listen, or a Magical Negroes, or Arthur the Great, another film that did not do as well as people expected. When you look at these films, Love Lies Bleeding did not do extremely well at all. In fact, go ahead, let's look at this top 10, and I'll pull up the number, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. These films that are like Love Lies Bleeding, anything from Focus, A24, Neon, these films are not doing the numbers they used to do. Occasionally, we obviously get something that breaks out of that mold, but remember, and we're going to talk about this tonight, it's the big topic tonight. Now that we have eliminated the windows, I mean, virtually gone. I mean, it used to be a 90-day window, right? From when it dropped in theaters to home. Now you're looking at, in some cases, like 2 weeks, 17 days, 3 weeks, a month. That's not very long. Most people will just say, I'll just wait. So Love Lies Bleeding, look at this, only $1,825 per location. That is not a strong number. But you know what's even worse? The American Society of Magical Negroes at 1.25 million, $1,000 per screen. That's a bomb. I mean, you could argue Love Lies Bleeding is almost a bomb, but at least it's 800 more per screen above Negroes. That sounds weird, but it's just a case of these smaller films. People are just going to wait. I think that's the issue that these distributors have to work out. You got to bring back a longer window. I mentioned Arthur the King. It's at 7.5 million. Some people had it at 10. I'm like looking at this trailer going, how the hell is this thing going to get to 10? There's no way it's going to get to 10. And it didn't. It's 7.5 million, a film that they give the whole thing away in the trailers. Magical Negroes bombed, as I just said. Let's do box office top 10. And then we'll roll out tonight. Big topic tonight is going to be these windows. And I know, listen, if you ever thought that I started MMT for views and subscribers, when I tell you the big topic tonight is about theatrical windows and protecting movies in theaters, you have that answered right there. I don't give a shit. This is about film and the business and anything that we want to talk about on MMT. Let's look top 10. Kung Fu Panda, 30 million, down 48%. That's a bigger number than they hoped. I'm sure Universal wanted that closer to 40%, not closer to 50. Dune, down 37%, now at 200. I can't get my thing squeezed. It's over 200. It's about 205 million stateside. Like I said, a shade under 500 million worldwide. Arthur the King, 7.5 million, under expectations on that film. Imaginary, down 44%, 5.6. I saw that movie, and we're going to talk about it tonight. That movie's insane. The end of that film, I was dying. I'm telling you, it's not good, but it's so wacky and so laughably bad, like Firestarter, that I recommend seeing Imaginary. Cabrini from Angel Studios, the faith-based studio, 2.8, down 61%. It's a huge number. That's a big drop. Love Lies Bleeding, again, not super successful in that expansion at all. One Love, down only 44%. That film's doing quite well. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if you'd have told me that film would be well over 100 million worldwide, so that's a success for Paramount, and it is. One Life, what the hell is that? I don't even know what One Life. Oh, that was the one with Anthony Hopkins. Did not do well. 1.7 million. And then Negroes at 1.25, bomb. Ordinary Angels down 50% with only 1 million. Total on the box office weekend is 84, call it, $1 million. Okay, so tonight the big topic is, can theaters be protected with longer windows? That is what we will discuss, along with whatever else you want to talk about tonight. MMT, about 8 o'clock on the West Coast, 11 o'clock East Coast tonight for MMT, the Sunday Night Spectacular. Until then, I'll see you. Peace out. Live from LA. Goodbye.